It is easy to assume that a civil partnership is simply a modern alternative phrase for getting married. But in the eyes of the law, these are entirely distinct mechanisms. They run on parallel tracks, governed by a precise, unforgiving set of rules. While day-to-day elements like property rights and financial responsibilities overlap almost completely, the foundational legal architecture underneath them diverges. Failing to understand the exact rules required to build that foundation can result in a void or non-marriage. That means if the relationship breaks down, the financial and legal protections you assumed were there are legally non-existent, because as far as the court is concerned, the union never happened. To guarantee your rights are protected during a breakup, you first have to survive the strict legal gauntlet of getting together. At the very beginning of the legal life cycle, the state acts as a strict gatekeeper for adult relationships. Whether you choose a marriage or a civil partnership, the baseline capacity rules are universal. Both parties must be 18 or older, you cannot be closely related by blood or marriage, and neither of you can already be married. Beyond capacity, you have to follow strict formalities. You must formally give notice of your intention at a registry office, wait 28 days, and ensure the ceremony itself takes place in a legally approved premises. If you deliberately bypass these parameters, for instance by conducting a ceremony with no registrar or official paperwork, the state simply will not recognize the union. The courts might forgive a minor clerical error on a form, but failures of capacity or form mean the union is void from the moment you exchange vows. Good intentions do not create legal rights. Only strict compliance with the formation statutes activates the protections of family law. But what if you follow the rules perfectly and your union is still vulnerable? In family law, this is a voidable relationship, one that is valid right up until a court officially annuls it due to a hidden flaw. One of the most striking differences between these relationship types involves the concept of non-consummation. Under the Matrimonial Causes Act, if an opposite-sex couple gets married but never physically consummates the relationship, that marriage is legally voidable. Either party can apply for an annulment. But if you look at the rules for a civil partnership or a same-sex marriage, non-consummation is legally irrelevant. It cannot be used as grounds to end the union. Even with a perfectly executed ceremony, ancient legal quirks still shape the hidden vulnerabilities of modern relationships, based on the specific legal label you chose. Recently, the legal landscape shifted. New legislation removed the long-standing requirement to prove fault or assign blame to a partner during a breakup. But getting out still requires clearing specific hurdles. The first is universal. You cannot apply to end a marriage or a civil partnership within the first 12 months. Once that year passes, there is now only one legal ground required to exit, a simple statement that the relationship has irretrievably broken down. Both relationship types face the exact same procedural timeline. You submit your application, wait 20 weeks for a conditional order, and then wait another 6 weeks before applying for the final order. By the time you reach the end of the process, the primary distinction between the two paths is just vocabulary. A marriage ends in a divorce, while a civil partnership ends in a dissolution. While the mechanics of breaking up have been standardized to reduce conflict, the procedural timeline remains a rigid legal gauntlet. The laws that govern how we build and dismantle our families are constantly evolving under the authority of Parliament. Over the last few decades, that legal landscape has been updated to make exits cleaner and less antagonistic. Yet despite those modernized exits, the foundational architecture of family law remains incredibly strict. The exact label you apply to your relationship on day one dictates the precise legal machinery you will interact with at the end. Whether choosing a marriage or a civil partnership, ensuring the initial formation is legally airtight is the only way to guarantee your independence and protections when it is time to part ways.